This conference will now be recorded.
Suhas, quickly one more thing. Uh, we
Yes.
not only record this session but every single session. Okay, so the idea behind is we give the
Yeah.
recorded
Yeah.
videos to the students.
Correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, that's one thing that we make sure. Okay, so let me go back to mute and I'll just be hearing. Okay,
Yeah. Well, I'll start at 7, correct, right? 10
yeah,
minutes.
we'll start exactly at 7. We'll see how many students will
Okay.
join. Okay, yeah, thank you. Bye.
Perfect. No worries. Hey, good morning, everyone. And hi, this is Suhas, and we are having this performance testing with Apache Jmeter today. I hope I'm audible. I'll try to make as loud and as clear as I can. Well, to give a small introduction about me, I am an ISTQB certified tester, and I did my ISTQB in 2008 or so. I do have an 12 plus years of experience in software testing. Specifically for performance testing, I do have more like 4 to 5 years. I have worked specifically for performance engineering and performance testing side. I have I'm being Six Sigma black belt certified, so I work more on the process side. I understand the process a lot. I mix those process with my understanding of performance testing, software testing, and I use those different methods to bring in more quality to whatsoever deliverables I am asked to deliver. So I had a privilege of working with Microsoft directly. I had a privilege of working with Google directly on their in-house projects. So we worked very close to the team. We worked very close to the most of the development team and the stakeholders and business decision makers, technical decision makers, specifically at the age where a new technology is being adopted. I'll try to share as much as my experience to all of you so that you understand how we can create a better environment when we talk regarding the performance side. So performance testing is something which I'm really passionate about because rather than finding functional mistakes or functional errors of a particular application, it's always performance testing gives us an aspect that we can make the application really better on every instance, on every test that we are doing. It is very interesting as what happen is you try to understand many parameters, you try to understand many counters, and there are so many dynamic environment that is involved. Like every time it could be a different environment altogether where your deployment is going to happen. Every time the application is going to behave differently. So it is really very dynamic when we try to understand how performance testing and performance engineering works. And I've been working with JMeter a lot, and because specifically there are some reasons that we'll be telling in this particular session. So I officially welcome you all to the session, and let's start this session and let's try to understand more and more about Apache JMeter. Okay, so okay. Okay, so Apache JMeter, as you all must be knowing, that it is a pure Java-based and open source software application. As I came to know, all of your profile comes from a little background with performance testing. That's why I'm not going very basic of what performance testing is about, what load testing is about, what is the non-functional testing and everything. So I'm not going that basic. I'm directly starting with Apache JMeter. And whensoever you have any question, you can of course post in the comment section. And so that's why I'm starting with JMeter directly. And so Jmeter is a purely open source application which was developed by Apache Software Foundation, and it is specifically designed to load test functional behavior and measure the performance. So as we all know that why we do performance testing, we need to make sure that there are so many scenarios that we need to understand, that we need to execute before the application goes live. So when it goes live, or on in a real life scenario, we need to we need to make sure that our application is not crashing, it is behaving as it is expected from our the rules that the functionality that we are expecting, not even the functional side, even the non-functional side. So Apache Jmeter actually helps us to create those scenarios and execute those scenarios at a very easiest level, a very easy and very ongoing method. So we can go through it and we can understand that. So let's first understand a few things. Like what are client side and server side. So when we talk regarding what is the client side request and what how Jmeter actually works, so I'll just explain you with this particular image. And it is very easy to understand that so if you can see on the left hand side of your screen, there is user who is sending a request, and that request goes through the infrastructure to the network, and then that request goes to the server. So that is the step one. We send a request from user. Step two, it goes to network. Step three, it is going to the server for the request. Step four is when the server is actually responding against the request that is being sent, it goes back to the network, and the response is then collected to our client side. Okay, so this is exactly how the mechanism works. This is how exactly every request that goes to the server, it comes back. It really doesn't matter what server, what technology, what infrastructure you are using, what network you are using. It really doesn't matter. What everything matters is this is the basic of how request and response are handled, and on the basis of this request and response, on the collection of everything, what we do is, on the basis of these six steps, we try to understand the performance engineering of the application that we have developed, that is under testing, that is requested, that is what we are testing at a performance level or a functional level. That is what we are actually doing. So we need to understand that the request, when it is sent from the user and it goes to the server, there could be n number of parameters, the n number of performance counter that we are going to look. So these performance counters could be your speed, it could be the number of requests, how much time did the request took to go to the server and then to download. Say for example, we have an image, and if there is an image which is more in size, right? In a functional level testing, what we do is we give the validation that the image size should be x or y, mbs, or maybe this is the particular resolution that we are looking for. Now why we are doing this? Because the server has its capacity, right? It has to, we have to make sure that the server is healthy enough to provide us more and more response. So this scenario, what I'm trying to tell you in this particular slide, it is for a single user where one request is going and the response is coming back. So at a particular time, there could be n number of requests that are sent, and there could be many requests that we are sending on each click. So if you just imagine that this could happen for a single user, then imagine what will happen for multiple users on a larger scale of application. And I always love to take this example, like we all love to shop online, and specifically when we talk regarding Flipkart or Amazon, when they have their big billion day, or that there is a huge sale day that they are looking for, and single user is sending thousands of requests to the server. He's searching what products he want, what there could be some discount that he's looking for. So what various users are doing various activities, like they are going to the application. There are some set of users who are only going to check the products, they are not going to buy it. There are there are few users who are going to buy the product. There are few users who are helping helping, I mean, they are posting their products from the back end, right, to sell those products. There are customer care who is understanding each and every request. So at the same time, if there is a big billion day for Amazon or Flipkart or any e-commerce website, so what is happening is there are n number of users who are keeping on sending more and more requests to the server, and what is happening is the server is responding on the basis of the same, and then you need to understand all these parameters that are happening. Okay. So in this particular session, what we are going to do is we are going to do a hands-on experience. We are going to do a hands-on experience on Jmeter, and we'll have a quick overview, and we'll just try to understand how the installation and configuration works. Then what are the different components? Then how we can launch. I'll also try to help you to understand how to record and play back a particular script, and what challenges comes in between. Then we'll also go through the little more about the course content that we are actually going to have in this particular session. Not in this session, this is the demo session, in the entire batch that we are going to plan. And so let's start with that. Okay, let me close it and then we'll start it again. So guys, this is the official website, jmeter.apache.org. Okay. So what you can do is you can always use this website to download the official version. The current version of Jmeter is 5.11, 5.1.1. Okay. So we have two, that is tgz, and there is a zip file. So what you can do is you can download it from here. So this is the binary one. If you want to modify, you can also download the source. You can modify. I mean, Apache Jmeter is completely flexible. You can go and modify it yourself if there are any plugins, because there are n number of plugins people have created. If you are good with Java, if you want a particular plugin to be developed by yourself, you can do that too. It gives you a flexibility, complete flexibility, that you can use it, because as there's an open source, you don't have to worry. You can create your own plugin, you can create your own reports, you can create anything that you want, and if you understand it completely, right? So you can download with this, and the prerequisite for this is you must have Java installed on your PC, as it says required Java 8 plus. So what I'll do is we'll just see if I have Java. So I'll just see Java hyphen version. So if not, I do have Java installed on my PC. You just need to make sure that the whatsoever test environment that you are using, it must have Java environment setup. Installing Java is very basic. You can just Google it and try it. You can install Java. So you can go through the Oracle Java official website of Java, and from there you can install it. You also need to set up the environment very so that what happens is it exactly works properly. It works as we are expecting. So apart from Java, once your Java is done, you need to download Apache Jmeter. Apache Jmeter you can download in any folder, extract it, and once you extract, what happens is it will give you this particular folder. So let's see what we have in this particular folder. We have bin, which have all the executable files. We have some docs, we have some extras, we have libs. Okay, we won't go into detail of this because most of my what I used to train, I used to train for lot other companies like Infosys, Wipro, and for Jmeter specifically, and a few of my students I have trained them at a very specific advanced level where you can where we go inside each and every component of Jmeter and try to understand what it does, how it helps to create more and more scripts, better scripts, and what if you are stuck somewhere, how you can come up with a better solution. Okay, so so as I told you earlier, there are two ways to run Jmeter. Once we extract this, there are two things. One is a batch file. Now this is a Windows batch file. Okay, what you can easily do is you can double click, and once you double click on this particular batch file, it will run a batch file in command. So you can see that it is giving you do not use UI mode. So it is giving you an instructions, and okay, and it opens Java Apache Jmeter. Okay, as simple as that. Other than that, what you can do is you can open this particular folder in command line. I'm using PowerShell, you can use command line too. Let's see all of them. So you all must be knowing a shortcut to open any folder into command prompt is shift and right click. Then you can go in open with your default command prompt. So it will take a little while. Okay. And what you can do is Java can actually do, you can directly put this Jmeter as a command, and what it will do is it will run. Okay, I hope you got it. So what you can do is you can also go in a command prompt, go to this particular folder, then we'll just write Jmeter and enter. Well, that's perfect. So is as you can see that Jmeter has recently evolved with a beautiful UI that they have came up with this black theme. I'm really loving this. So you have this simple application that appears which have file, edit, everything, help, and it starts with a test plan. So what is a test plan is how you are planning your entire test. So prior it had a workload and workflow engine and everything, but now you can directly start with a test plan. And when we are starting with test plan, we are just there are few things that we need to see, and rather than we'll just see. Okay, so test plan, we'll right click on test plan and then add a thread user. Now what is a thread user is the number of users that we are planning to this particular test, and what actions, I'm sorry, and what actions are these users planning to take. So when we are talking regarding this, so there is a thread group, and the thread group users in a particular test, what we are going to do is we are going to plan a particular test. Let's say for an example, we for the purpose of this particular demonstration, we are taking this application which is JPET store, and you must be all must be aware about this particular test application. So what we are planning to do in this particular test is we are uh, we are trying to understand how is the transaction going to work. So let's walk through this particular website first. So JPEG store comes with parrot and few of, so there are few categories of different species, and we'll go into each of the category. There are few products. We can go in the products and we can see the images and add to cart. Okay, we can go from the image also. So there is this Persian cat. Okay, it's as simple as that, and then I click on proceed to update cart. Okay, do I have anything? I can change the quantity and then proceed to checkout. So there is a username password which is already there, and I log in and it is done. So I can go back to my account. It shows, can go and see the order that I placed. Fair enough. So this is what we are planning to test. So we'll see some scenario, and on the basis of the same, what we are trying to do is we added a test plan was by default there. We added thread group, and now the most important thing is we'll add a non-test element, which is a test script recorder. Test script recorder is very handy. It is something which was previously called as a proxy controller. Proxy controller was working as an agent for your browser to to connect or to collect all the requests that you have. Okay. So in this test script recorder, what you'll see is you will have a port number. What Jmeter is going to do is it is going to use this particular port number, and this port number will be configured in your browser. In your browser, it will work as an agent, and then all the requests that you are using. So your browser is actually working as your recording controller now once you put that. So let's see how we are going to do that. Once you add the test script recorder, you add the port number. You can change your port number as required, as it is available. Then the next step is the target controller has to be changed to thread group. We can create a thread group, or you can create a logical controller. We'll go into the basic, we'll go into the detail of that later. So what we can do is we'll go in the test plan. Okay, we are recording all the steps in this test plan thread group. Okay, so once you start this, it will give you a pop-up. Now what is the pop-up is it has created a self-signed it has created a self-signed certificate of SSL, and this is for those particular transactions which are HTTPS based, which are secure requests. And if these requests are secured, you need to make sure that your request and the response, because the server won't be working in that case. Even the browser does not allow if the SSL certificate is not working properly, right? So you need to make sure, if we'll see that into the details of how you handle the security parameters and everything. Okay, so this is our website, and okay, this is our browser. We'll go in tools option, and then we type here as proxy. So by default it should be like this for you. There is one more thing. Okay, and mostly what happens is there is a localhost somewhere. Okay, right. So this is how it should be for you. And what you do is you set this as manual proxy. You are putting the port number which is same as here. So I have 4 times 8 here, and the same port number I'm using here. I'm using this for all other protocols because Jmeter actually works on protocol based, because all the request and sample that will be recorded will be on the basis of the protocols like HTTP protocols and everything. So we'll go into details of that too. So you need to make sure that all protocols are rendering the same, and most of the time there must be local host, and this is 12 dot the basic URL, it must be written here. You need to remove that. Once that is done, you need to click OK. Now your browser won't be working until and unless this proxy server is running or not. Okay. So in this situation, must be seeing that this okay. Now this is a very regular problem which comes to my student, and very basic level of problem that comes because Firefox, what Firefox does is it always keeps on checking for the latest version if that is available. So if you go here, this is my Firefox version, and what it does is it keeps on hitting the main server if there is a new version which is available, right? Now when you are actually doing this, you need to make sure that such requests which are unwanted requests should not be there, must not be there in your recorded script. So how we can do that is a very simple step. You can go in test script recorder. You can, as you can see, there is a request filter. So in request filter, you can add a particular include and exclude filter. So what I want to do is I want to exclude. Very simple trick of using this particular tool is you can click and add suggested excludes. So it generally, what we exclude while doing a load testing is any image file, any CSS file, any JS file, JPEG file, or even font. We are not using those because actually these are static content. So we are not concerned about the static content. So we are excluding it already. Why I'm using this is because with this I'll get the syntax of how I can see. Again, there is a third request. So it keeps on, after a few seconds it will keep on adding a success.txt, and that is very irritating. So what we'll do is we'll add, and the syntax is dot star backslash dot txt. So I'm adding this. Once I added this, what I'll do is I'll go back to the test script recorder and then restart it. Hopefully this would, the new request won't have this. Okay, so you must have observed once I start this, there was this test transaction controller, which is a new component which is recently added in the 5.1 version. Prior to 5.1 version, this controller was not there. Now, what is the use of this? Say for an example, I have, this is my test case, or maybe, so my step one is go to the site, then go to birds, select birds, and then go to fish, get fish, check out. So this is my simple test that I'm planning to do. Now what happened is, let's see if so I have my browser set, I have my application set. So I clicked on the home button, and what happened was, here you can see that there's a request that is being recorded. Now what is this request? Let's see. So there is this request which says this is the ID, and that is the path, that's the default name that it is created. it is showing me the server. It is showing me if that is a get method or a post method. So to understand get method, post method, you must Google it and understand what is HTTP get and post method in the detail. I'll try to understand it, try to make you understand what is it in detail. We do have a particular topic, that is web services, which will be included in the session. And in that particular session in web services, we'll understand all these methods. Not all this, at least 4 of them, which are very essential. Okay, so get method, post method are there, and this is the path that is being hit. So that is the request. Now what transaction controller is doing is, what I can do is, it has 2 things. One is a prefix and another is a transaction name. So if I put transaction name, I say go to website, and that was my first step, and I do an action here. So you can see that the step here, can you see this? The step here, it shows, okay. So this particular shows go to website here. Okay. So what was my next step? My next step was go to birds. So I'll click on birds, then I'll go in the detail of birds, add a bird. Okay. Then the next transaction is, okay, I'll add a prefix now. Add fish, go to fish, add a tiger shark, add to cart, and then checkout. Okay, so you can see when I added it as a transaction, it did not, it added only the transaction name, but when I added as a prefix, what it does was it added as a prefix and then the steps which are later added. Okay, now you can also edit it from here, because what I did was the checkout, when I clicked on checkout, I can actually change it for here, from here, check. Okay, as simple as that. So this is my simple script that I have added. Now what we'll do is, the next step, we'll just add a, okay, something, just record it again. There was some glitch that happened. Okay, so I'm adding it again. I'm adding a the excluder for my txt request. Starting the server, it is not allowing me to do that. Now I'm starting it again. So go to website, then add birds, and then let me check out. Done. So that is my simple script again I created. So let me stop this. And once you are done with this, you go and so what put the stop button prior. The recording controller was not there, so you have to come back and stop it from here. Now you can stop it from the controller that is given outside, which pops up, right? Now what I can do is I can add a listener. Now what is a listener is, listener will try to capture all the response if we are sending it to the server. So very detailed one is a result tree. So what I'm doing is, from here I'm adding a result tree, view result tree, and then here is the play button. So what you can do is you can start your script. So once you started, so this is exactly what is happening. It has sent a request, and this is your response data that is being collected. Okay, as simple as that. So you recorded and played it back. Once you played it back, what happened was you can see the results here. Similarly, you can add multiple listeners. Like let's add a summary report. And now what I'm on a real base scenario, what I'm trying to do is I'm hitting the server with 10 users. So the number of thread user is 10 in this particular scenario, and this is my script which is already being recorded and it is ready to work. What I did was, with one user I understood that my script is running properly, I debugged it. Now with 10 user I'm trying to run this script again. So it is giving me a warning that you should always save your data first, because many times it does not support any CSV or a function that you have created for your test script. So right now I don't have that, I'm not saving it. But usually it is recommended that you must save your script at the very initial time. So as you can see that there are 10 users I tried to hit, and these 10 users are done. There are no errors. These are the errors that will be appearing. Yes. My voice is breaking in between. Okay. I'll try to be very clear. Okay. So I was saying that so these are the samplers. Okay. So these are the samplers, and this is a listener. And once that is there, okay, so you can see that all your requests are executed as that is in green color. So if there is any request that is not running, so let me, what I'll do is what I can do is, okay, let me do a purposeful mistake here. See, so what I did was, there was one small thing which went wrong. I sent a request. You need to sign in before continuing. Okay. So there is a request. What I did was I added a specific error that was -1 -1. I added in the server name, and as it was not reaching up, it is giving me the red sign. So any failed request will appear here. You can go inside and understand what is the response data, why it is failing, and you can go inside and dig a deep level and understand why it is not working properly. So this is from the detailed view. Whereas in a summary view, you can see that there are errors which are appearing. So this is 50% error for this particular request, 50% worked out. Okay. So next thing which is very important is the clean your previously recorded or previously recorded response, or the application, how it was working, right? So this is for clear all, these two buttons. You can always use this whenever you are running your test. Okay, as you can see now this is 100% error because prior it was showing 50%. It was summary. The summary was consolidating two different iteration that we run. Okay, so this is a small demo how it works. And so what you can do is you can add a number of protocols and a number of things here, like bean shell, like an HTTP request, like a Java request, a Jmeter, JUnit request. There are Selenium requests, there are Selenium add-ons that you can add from here. There are so many things that can be done, and it is really very interesting tool. It is very easy to use. It is very and the best part is, as this is open source, the resources are available in tons on the internet. You won't be stuck at any particular place. There are so many things even on the official website that we have. Yes. Can you make me the presenter? No, I cannot. Okay. Well, I what we'll do is, if you have any questions, you can post it here. Okay. So meanwhile, let me walk through what exactly we are looking for in the session that we are planning to take. Okay. So as in the syllabus, we are looking for the basic performance testing and need of performance testing. Can we recap this thing once? Just a second. I have a question. If possible, can you recap the things once, please, as we have missed the initial part? Yes. So in this particular session, what we did was we started with the session of just a second, just 1 minute. Okay, so we started the session with Jmeter. We tried to understand a simple concept of request and response. So this was what I tried to explain. Okay, and once that is done, we what we did was we installed it from the official website. We downloaded from the official website. The first thing we checked is that the prerequisite is it must have a Java version 8 plus if you are using the recent one. Later what we did was we opened this particular application via command line. We also opened the application via PowerShell, and then we opened it with a batch file. So once that is done, what we did was we created a small script using test script recorder, which was prior called as a proxy controller. And we also understand this particular request filtering, how we can remove unwanted request. This is a very important part. Many of my students are always stuck with this at a very initial level. Even if they are using Jmeter, they don't know how to exclude a particular path. So this is how we understood this. We also understood the concept of what is this port number, how to add this port number into your options here. So you added the same port number in the browser, and once that is done, your browser actually acted as a proxy controller for an extension for the Jmeter. And once that is done, all the requests that were running in this particular server were recorded in the Jmeter panel. So we went into the detail of it, what exactly were, like this particular request is showing the product ID which we selected. We can always go through. We can change the parameters from here, and we can change the parameters from here. We can understand what is the request that is being going. See, it is showing me username, password, which are there. You can encode, decode, and everything. Then what we tried to understand was, we tried to add two listeners. One was a detailed one, which was a view tree, result tree, and the second one was summary report. In summary report, we try to understand summarized execution of our application that we recorded, and in a view result tree it was showing, we saw that how to see the detail one. Okay, and that was the total summary, and then we were actually moving towards the syllabus, and we were discussing the same. So okay, so correlation, of course, we do have a particular session, and correlation is in the syllabus. What I'll do is I'll paste this in the comment section. I hope everyone will get. So Jay is asking what is correlation. Jay, will go through this correlation. We have a particular complete session for this. Okay. So you must all have had this link that we are planning to do. Okay, I do have few more questions. Yes, how to record this session? Okay, we are recording this session already, and we'll be providing you with the same, so you don't have to worry. There is another question: can we only use Firefox to record this application? Can no, Sudarshan, it is not so. You can use any browser, but why I'm doing is because Firefox is the one of the best browser, as it has its own connection which is different. Now, if you see in Chrome and Internet Explorer is basically using the same connection, the connection components. So what we can do is, in Firefox we can put our manual proxy differently, and then use it for, you can use Chrome for searching and everything, but you can do it in Chrome also. If you want, I can show you. We can go inside the setting, we can go for proxy. So this is proxy controller. It is actually using the Windows one, the default one. Firefox has its own component altogether. That's why I use Firefox. I recommend to use Firefox. That's only for that purpose, because if you are changing from the base system, it will affect all the other components too, all the other browsers too. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we did a recap. Okay, the correlation is a completely different full topic, and we'll cover that in the full session that we have. Okay, I told you about browser. Any other questions? Please let me know. And until that, I'll just walk through with the course content that we are planning to do.
Suhas, Kumar
Okay.
has another
Yes.
question. Can you please look at the chat window? There is one question from Kumar as well. Can you please take that?
Yes. Just a second. Okay, bean shell script. Okay, bean shell script explains. Yes, Kumar, we do have bean shell. We'll have a complete session on that. So as I sent you this link, you can just go through it. We'll just quickly walk through what we are going to cover in the entire session. So as you can see that we'll go through performance testing, basic, core concepts, how the architecture and everything works, workload modeling. Then we have the introduction. We have covered this in this demo session itself. We have also tried to add proxy controller and everything. So few of the things I have told you in the demo session itself: thread group, samplers, controllers, assertions, post process, pre-processors. So here we have bean shell. Bean shell is one of bean shell is where you can create your own. You can use your created scripts and directly use into the application. These are pre-process and post-process. Both of them will use that. I'll actually demonstrate you how to use it. We'll take a scenario completely and will execute the same. We'll try to understand it as much as possible. Then we have timers where we are using it. Then of course, as your question was, there is a correlation. We have a complete correlation topic for this particular purpose. We'll understand it in and out about how to do correlation and how it works, what are the deep insights about it. Configuration elements. Then we have listeners, we have Jmeter functions, we have scenario design, we have non-GUI test execution. Of course, that is one of the very important factor, because I'll tell you honestly, my own experience was very tricky. It comes very tricky when it comes to a Java-based server, and in the Java-based server, a Linux-based server, and when it is a command line and you have to execute your test on a command line basis, it is completely different than how you do it on a GUI basis. So what we'll do is we'll try to understand those aspects. I'll try to create few of a virtual machines on my PC which will help us to understand more about this particular session. Or else what we can do is, for a sake of one day, we can take the session on a Linux based machine. I'll try to arrange that too. Then we have reporting, of course, all the reports that we have seen. So listeners is the first step, and then how we create reports from those. That is one of very important component. There are some plugins, external plugins. I'll try to add those into the syllabus. Then server monitoring, there is a perform plugin that is available. We'll try to understand. I'm a huge fan of New Relic. New Relic is one of the best monitoring tool that is available in the market. So we'll try to understand how to monitor your application through there. And once you are putting your server load and everything, I mean, you are putting your Jmeter scripts and everything, what we can do is we can understand how to monitor those. Then we have Jenkins and Jmeter integration, and there are some interview preparations that we'll do. And as you must be knowing that it is being already, this is not updated. The course fees is 8,900, and the entire course will be for 20 days. In entire 20 days, we'll have end-to-end practical sessions. There won't be theory blah blah. I'm really sorry. I won't. I'll try to make it as much as practical as we can do. We will be trying to understand each and every component at a very deep level. That is something what I'll make sure from my side, and we'll take more and more question and answers. So if you do have any other questions, please let me know. Accordingly, we can plan to close this demo sessions. Okay, cool. What are the advanced topic will cover than the regular topic as part of Jmeter course? So see, Kumar, the thing is, if we talk regarding what happens when there is a basic course, so a very basic course has simple record and playback. They will try to most of the sessions that we take on a very basic level is we try to help the student to understand how to use it, what are the simple steps that you can record and playback, and what are the simple steps that you can listeners and how you can use those listeners. Those are very, I mean, even for that sake, we'll just take only a few components. Like even in sampler, there is HTTP request. Now, when we'll talk about Bean shell sampler is here, and JSR is there. So JUnit sampler is there. There are some samplers which are external plugins that will be adding into this. I'll take a quick session for JDBC request, which will help you to understand how to connect to database, and then you can hit a particular database with different kind of load scenarios. So those things comes into advanced one, whereas in basic one, what happen is you can simple record it and play back. So those are what basically happens. Okay. How many hours the entire course will be? So Banu, the entire course will be for 20 hours. So we'll take 1 hour per day for 4 days or 5 days a week. We can plan that out, and so that will be 5 days a week mostly, and 5 days a week we can take 1 hour per day, and we'll try to finish this within a month, span of month. Okay. So that is the total content and the application that we are, the test that we are planning to do. Okay. I hope I made
I
it
have one
clear.
quick query. Hello.
Yes, please.
I
Yes,
have one
please.
quick query. Like advanced topics, it means master slave mechanism, non-GI mode,
Correct.
and
Right.
Maven's integration, Jenkins integration, WebDriver integration.
Yeah.
A kind of topics will
Correct.
cover, right?
Correct. Jenkins will do Jenkins in this particular session for sure. We do have a distributed test that will have, that is the master and slave. The only thing
Yeah.
is I'll need to set up two virtual machines on my PC, and then I'll try to demonstrate you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll do that
And
distribution testing also.
also mainly entry point of your various coachings right now in the market, mostly targeting on Jmeter rather than Loadrunner also. Most of the interviews. They're
Correct.
mostly
Correct.
focusing on the Jmeter in different ways. What
Yes.
kind of scripting challenges, what kind of a
Correct.
monitoring we can do, what kind of reports.
Hmm.
So in the reports, what kind of parameters you are including, how to include those parameters, where can I get, like what kind of plugins you are using. So these kind of
Hmm.
mostly I'm expecting the answers syllabus in the part of syllabus.
Sure thing. As you can see, the syllabus actually covers most of the thing. And when we talk regarding, what happened is, buddy, if you are understanding the concept completely, you will be free out of those all worries that what I need to answer in this particular interview and everything. Because I'll try to I'll make sure that you understand it at a concept level. You can anytime connect me with direct one-on-one session if you want, and we can go ahead and understand. I'll try to we'll keep a exercise mode, and you need to come up with all the solutions that there will be challenges that will be given you on after every session, so that you need to do your homework also, and you need to come back with your homework done, so that we understand it every aspect of what is the training going on. So you don't have to worry about it. The as most of the companies are actually looking for Jmeter now, I'll make sure that your interviews would be clear in that case.
Yes, because there is so many institutes and organizations are there providing Jmeter course, but most of the sessions I
Mm-hmm.
update only regular course,
Mm-hmm.
not beyond the advanced, beyond the
Okay.
regular. Then
Mm. Okay. So I've been into training JMeter since last 4 to 5 years now, and what happened is the entire scenario is very different. I do have practical experience, so I'll share those things with you. Okay, so it will be completely fine.
yeah, sure, it's good really. And finally, one more quick query.
Yeah.
You ever faced SSO
Yes,
issue,
please.
single sign-on issue?
Single sign-on, yes,
Hello.
for Google and Microsoft we did. Yes. Hello, am I
You have
audible?
explained right earlier. Yeah, it's audible. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good.
So I was
Like
saying
it's
that.
kind of. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Hey, you go ahead.
So yes. So I was saying that. Yeah, single sign-on. Of course, there are some security parameters. As I was saying, that there are few there are few aspects that I need to explain everyone. Like you need to make sure that there are few security things that are happening. So we'll try to cover that too. Single sign-on and everything. We'll try to cover that too. Okay.
Yeah, it's good really.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So thank you so much for your time, everyone. What I'm doing is we'll be sharing. I'll ask Kumar if he will be sharing the session or to understand more aspects about the training. And if you have any feedback, please let us know. You do have our email addresses. You do have you can send us, you can drop that what all things you wanted to add. And we wanted to make it more attractive, more fruitful for all of you to understand the insight of Jmeter. And let's get yourself trained in throughout the and make use of this particular 20 hours completely. Okay. And so what time will start tomorrow? So there will be, I suppose there will be one more session, and there will be demo session. This will be a repeat demo session tomorrow. And after that, once all the candidates and everything are fixed, we will try to tell you what time we are starting. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and you all have a wonderful day ahead. And let's see, let's meet you in the real sessions, and I'll try to explain you as much as experience I'll have. And demo tomorrow same time. I hope yes. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll ask, I'll drop you an email for that. Okay. Thank you
So,
so
guys, this
much,
is
guys,
Kumar here.
and you have a wonderful day. Yes.
Suhas, can I take a minute, please?
Sure, I'm muting it myself. Thanks.
Yeah, Suhas. So, hi guys, this is Kumar here. Thank you for joining us. So, tomorrow will be the day 2 of this demo session. Okay, so it will be at the same time, 40 minutes or 45 minutes. And then we'll give a break. You guys can take a decision as to, whether you want to join or not. So, after day 2 of demo session, there will be 2 to 3 days of gap before you can take the decision, and then the regular session starts as per the curriculum. Okay, guys, any questions, you can call me. You have my WhatsApp number. You can email me. We'll take it forward from there. Thank you, guys. And this session is being recorded, so I'll send you the recorded session probably in few hours time. Okay, see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you, guys.